Can you have one?
Yeah.
It's a probiotic chew.
Good boy.
Good boy.
There you go.
Okay, and another.
Today is super exciting. We have
Yes.
a really cool guest today. We have Hannah Hughes from Farrah Pets here. You're the Director of Innovation and Sustainability.
Yes.
How long have you been with them?
So I've been with the company for about 3.5 years. Started in 2022. The company was like in major growth mode. So they hired me as a project manager and they're like, we don't really know what we want you to do yet.
Yeah.
And then it kind of snowballed into what it is today. So I lead all of our product development processes, ideation through commercialization, and then all of our sustainability initiatives.
Nice.
Oh. Were you working with supplements before this?
I was working. So my educational background is in human nutrition. So I was working for a human dietary supplement brand. In 2020, they made a strategic move to start moving into the pet industry.
Yeah.
So I never really saw myself going into pet,
Okay.
but I got like a little bit of my hands on that part of the business there, and then had the opportunity to move to Farrah. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess human nutrition can be applied to pets, right?
Yes.
It's a little different, but so much of the formulation processes are so similar. So
Yeah.
just about learning the biology and what makes pets unique.
Yeah, I think that was one of my questions I had was, how do you really take the trends that are currently in, the human supplement market and translate it to the pets? And do they actually kind of correlate, or are they pretty different?
So a lot of it correlates. We watch the human supplement industry really closely. I think like maybe 10 years ago, they used to say like it took a couple of years for human trends to make it into pet. Now we almost see no lag. So something
okay.
that's trending in human can make it into pet within months. They kind of
wow.
like go
Pretty cool.
side by side. So yeah, we watch the human supplement industry really closely to see kind of like what's going on and if that can be applied to pets. It's not always that, it's a 1-for-1 correlation.
Yeah. So those no creatine chews right now for dogs?
I've thought about it. Honestly, no, because the muscle health market is actually growing.
Yes.
So like you guys know, HMB.
Yes.
That's actually been trending within pet. There's a couple big brands that are
Okay.
using HMB. And HMB is really great. Like in sports nutrition, people think about it for muscle development.
Yes.
But it's really great for like aging, and like reducing muscle loss as pets age. So, I've thought about creatine. It's not out there yet, so I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe it doesn't apply directly.
Right.
But you never know.
That's super interesting. I wanted to learn a little bit more about Farrah Pets as a whole. Obviously, I've read your website. I think the story is pretty cool with Dr. Michelle and her friend Emily.
Yes.
But kind of give us a little bit of an idea of like the history of why Farrah Pets was created, and what's your mission?
Yeah, so Farrah Pets was created kind of as what Michelle saw as a need in the market. So she was practicing veterinary medicine. She actually started doing acupuncture on dogs and cats. So she was learning more. Yeah. Oh, that's totally a thing. So she was learning more about like holistic medicine, Eastern practices. And so her patients would say, oh, I would love to put like a supplement in conjunction with the acupuncture that we're doing. Like, what would you recommend? And so she looked and she was like, well, there's not really anything in the market that I would recommend. And so that's kind of how Farrah was born. Emily was already working in the pet industry, so she had a little bit of experience. And they were like, well, let's just create this brand because we can't find something that we really like.
Definitely.
So, our brand mission has always been about kind of combining the Eastern and the Western. So the things that we really know work when you look at it for like a joint chew, for example, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, that's kind of like your standard ingredients. And then we want to go like a step above. So we want to see what herbs and what botanicals can we add to those formulations to make a really super effective formula that is not only science backed, but like really works and makes a difference in pet lives.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this before, but I thought it'd be cool for the podcast is, how did you come across AstraGin? Coming off that topic, I thought it was like a cool story that you share with me.
Yeah, it was actually by chance. So Michelle was at a holistic vet conference and we had already had this product formula in mind, but we were kind of like looking for the missing piece, like the key that was going to be like, okay, now the formula is complete. And so she had gone to a lecture and the person that was leading the lecture was talking about how the combination of astragalus and ginseng is like really powerful for gut health. And so she's like, I really think that we should, look at including these ingredients in the formula. So I'm just Googling and I'm like, okay, like let's look at the data behind it. Like what research is there? And I was like, wait, there's this ingredient called AstraGin. I was like, it combines these two already. Yeah. And that was in like October, I think, of 2023.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let's like find this company at Supply Side and let's just go talk to them. And so I found your guys' booth and I was like, hey, we really want to know about this ingredient, AstraGin. And that was that. Cool. The rest is history.
Cool. Wow. No, I think you guys actually sparked one of the things that we're currently doing, the new pet trial. Yes. Everybody at NuLiv here has pets. I think Alex's dog is roaming around. I'm sure they'll join us on the podcast. But we've always kind of went back and forth about how do we have supplements for our pets and make them a little bit healthier, and do our ingredients tie into that. So then when we saw Pets and you guys kind of come by the booth and say, hey, we're kind of thinking about adding AstraGin, we're like, maybe there is something there. Maybe we can do something here. So you guys were like a big part of us actually having that initiative to start the first pet trial. So
we love that.
You'll be the first one to hear about.
We're honored.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. AstraGin being our first one, will hopefully have some new data that we can share with you probably by like Expo West.
Okay.
We get the protocol back end of this week. So once exciting. We give the okay and we pack some of the placebo samples and AstraGin tablets, we'll probably get that started, I would say, closer to the end of January.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, it's exciting. It's going to be a 18 dog study, 21 day with a 7-day washout. So we're going to do everything we can to get that published, and you guys will obviously be the first ones to know about it. But yeah, you guys really sparked the interest for our team to actually, devote some dollars and some research there. So.
I mean, and it'll only help you in the long run. Like the pet industry is growing so quickly. And so, a lot of human ingredient suppliers, like they want to get into the pet space, but not every supplier is willing to do that footwork and do the pet specific research, which is so, so important, because human data is great. In vitro data is great, but pets are very unique and their systems are unique. So having that pet specific validated data is really important. It's something that we look for in our suppliers. Yeah.
I know that was when we were designing the study, the main focus was to analyze the tolerability, the safety for AstraGin for pets first and foremost. And then we're going to be looking at some gut health benefits at the end. But we at least wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, it was going to be safe. So hopefully we get positive on all three fronts, and that just kind of gives us confidence to do more studies on some other ingredients. And I know one of the things you said to me before was a lot of the pet studies that are out there are primarily on dogs, not so much cats.
Yes.
So I did find somebody who could do a cat study. But yeah, why do you think that is?
Well, I think historically, dogs made up a larger share of the supplement market for pets. Mm-hmm. But I think that that's really changing right now. Over the last couple of years, like at pet trade shows, everybody's saying like, this is the year of the cat.
Yeah.
And I think it's for a couple of reasons. The dog population is still larger than the cat population, but cat population is actually growing at a faster rate. Oh. And, we see the trend of humanization in pets. And I think it's making its way into cat even more so.
Yes.
As of the last couple of years. Another thing unique about cats is they are just unique in general.
Yes.
They have different needs as far as like safety and tolerability when it comes to ingredients, but they also have different needs when it comes to palatability and acceptance of different formats and or flavors. So cats are a little bit more challenging, but there's tons of opportunity there.
Yeah,
man, in my mind, I keep trying to relate it to the human supplements. And because we're so deep into that, it's like right now when you're saying that, my mind went to, I wonder if that's how we divide just male, female. Like, oh, we're making a female formula. But at the same time, it's
so who's more picky?
Yes. And now I'm like,
totally.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that the pet industry has even the subcategory within it. We're even at your company, all right, now we're designing for cat. It's like almost saying, oh, we're designing only for kids, for women. I did want to ask, you said that the human side, it's almost like trailing it now. It's almost at par with pet side. For humans, it seems like when you would be taking a dietary supplement, the person taking it, at least in our audience, it's almost like enhancing themselves, right?
Right.
Is the pet audience or the pet shopper almost like looking for a cure instead of enhancement?
So I think a lot of pet supplement usage can definitely be more reactive than proactive. But I think that is one message that we really try to communicate to our customers, is that, prevention is really key when it comes to especially things like joint
the
health.
hips, yeah.
So a lot of I'll see it so many times with customers. They're like, well, my dog's only 2. Like, why would they need a joint supplement?
Right.
And I'm like, but that's where you're wrong, because you don't want to wait until you notice, your dog slowing down or, unable to jump or run. You really want to be adding in those nutrients that help support the regular functioning of those body systems.
Right.
So I think when it comes to messaging and marketing claims, how we frame our supplement usage is really similar to how human supplement marketing goes. We really want to support healthy body systems rather than treat broken body systems overall.
Sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Man, that's it's really interesting. You all said about the muscle loss, where someone, let's say they're late 30s, be like, oh, I take protein, but it's whatever. But then let's say they're in their late 50s, they might be, oh, now I need protein because I'm losing muscle mass.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, well, if you would have stuck to it in the 30s, it would transition to your 40s and you wouldn't have muscle loss in your 50s.
Yeah. I mean,
similar to the pets.
And same with working out,
Yes.
Like if you start those habits early on, like you get the better outcome later in life.
Yes.
Definitely.
Rather than starting it when it's not too late, but when it's harder to come back from.
Yeah.
I feel like
have
there
a
he is.
visitor.
Hi, Blue.
Oh my
I
God.
heard
He's
we
so
had dog
cute.
stuff.
Because I wear my treats at.
Don't worry. I got you. Boo.
Yeah. For the pet spaces, is there anything in particular that you feel, maybe from an ingredient side or just overall conceptual side, that maybe is missing or lacking, that maybe someone like us can kind of try and focus on and help with?
I mean, we do a lot of focus on gut health overall. I mean, I know, talking about AstraGin, we use that in a gut health, supplement. But we really like to use gut health or use different ingredients to support gut health for like a range of different benefits, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So we have our soft chews here. We actually have like a biotic component in every single one of those soft chews.
Okay.
That has a targeted benefit, because what we know, just like human, is that the gut is connected to so many other parts of the body. And so we have like a biotic that supports the gut-brain axis. So that's in our calming chew. So that's one area of research that I think is definitely expanding in both the human space and the pet space of like, gut support for total body support.
No, that's a great idea. And I feel like we should see more of that in the human supplements, as opposed to just having like an immune product or gut health. They kind of like make it a singular type of product, but you don't see it really consistently in products.
Yeah. And I think one thing that is talked about is like, have you heard of like the silver tsunami?
No.
Okay, so they talk about it within human, but right now what we're seeing is like a potential silver tsunami in pet, where there's a
aging population.
there's a big pet boom during COVID, right?
Yes.
And so
that's true.
now we're 5 years later, so we're gonna have like a large population of aging pets. So how do we support that aging pet population?
That's actually really cool. I never thought about
That's
that.
hilarious, because it seems like every industry almost has it. Because what came to my mind was like kids, like saying, oh wow, there's a huge batch of kindergartners coming in because these are all the pandemic babies. These are all
the COVID
these are
kids.
the pandemic
We were all
babies
just
and
bored
pets.
at home.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think one of the things that, maybe could be beneficial for people who are going to listen to this podcast is, from your perspective, what do you guys look at or hope for when you're looking at new ingredients? Because if it's not something that we can do, maybe, something some of our competitors can offer the pets as well.
Yeah.
What's important to you guys that you say, if it doesn't have like this type of study or this type of safety, we're not even going to like be able to look at it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, safety is first and foremost always. We can't assume that because something is safe for humans, it's safe for pets. We can't necessarily assume that something's safe for dogs, it's safe for cats. So safety evaluation is like the first thing that we do when we even think about an ingredient. Pet specific data is really, really important for us. Sometimes we can look at like in vitro and or human data and kind of extrapolate, look at kind of traditional use and see what kind of evidence there is there.
Okay.
But we also look at like the quality of a supplier and of an ingredient, of the cultivation of an ingredient. Sustainability is a big focus of ours. So if we see like a vertically integrated supply chain, we see that like a supplier is really doing their due diligence as far as, making sure that their impact is lesser on the environment. We definitely prioritize those types of suppliers as well. We want to work with suppliers that share our values, not just about quality, safety, efficacy, but also about, social and or environmental causes.
Definitely. Awesome.
Another place where NuLiv just checks the boxes.
We try. We definitely try.
When we went to Super Zoo, I think what surprised me the most, I always felt that, okay, there's obviously hip mobility supplements, there's the gut health. What surprised me the most was the calming stuff.
Oh, calming's big.
I was like, whoa. And I always knew, like, I would give my dogs, around 4th of July, you have calming chews and stuff like that. But I was surprised that people just wanted that normally. And then I saw it again. Maybe like was it at Super Zoo? I had to go back to the vet, like following it.
Yes.
I took my French to the vet, and I asked him, is there anything for pain tolerance or something? He's like, no, not really. And I was staring at the vet office, and I was like, some calming chews at least. Like, you should have it here, And then, we always look at the possibility of an opportunity of business. So I was like, man, this guy has a great vet clinic here, but nothing else besides medication.
And you know what? It's hard because a lot of vets actually don't really recommend supplements. There are a couple of companies.
Is it still considered like bro science? Like a doctor might not recommend creatine because he's like, no, take this injection or something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's similar. So if I go to the doctor, right, and I'm like, oh, I'm taking like XYZ supplements, and they're gonna be like, well, there's not really scientific data to support that, and you're like, bullshit. Like, I read the scientific data, right? So a lot of vets are similar to that, but also there are a couple of companies when it comes to supplements and or food in the pet space that are very well funded. They do have good science behind them, but I would say like 9 times out of 10, if a vet recommends a supplement, it's going to be from one company.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Okay.
I see what you mean.
Fair got them in their back pocket.
They got a little tobacco monopoly going on.
Yes. So, I mean, it's great that those vets are, open to supplementation. But yeah, the vet market is definitely a good opportunity if you can get into that channel.
I see.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually ever focused any energy there. I think we'll do it more when the study actually comes out. And I'm going to be walking what's that convention in January? The veterinary.
Oh yeah, we don't go to that one. It's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody at Super Zoo said it was like a good thing for somebody like me just to like kind of walk around and get a feel for it.
Is Ferapet mostly focused on DTC, like direct to the consumer?
Yeah, so we're a digitally native brand. Okay. So, we got our start on our own D2C website, on Amazon, Chewy, and then recently we've done more of a push into brick and mortar retail. Mm-hmm. So we've been an independent pet for a couple of years, and then we'll be doing a little bit more like specialty pet and bigger box coming in 2026.
Yes. Nice.
Okay.
But yeah, we got our start on e-com. That's kind of like where we found our success. So it's where we thrive.
Yeah.
With Chewy and Amazon, is your line really good for subscription? Like that's where you feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because you want to kind of set it and forget it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm curious, what's next for Ferapets? What are you guys excited for? Is there something in particular you're working on?
Yeah, we've got a couple things we're working on for 2026. I think one thing that we're really focused on as like an overall strategy is kind of being a little bit more selective in the products that we launch. When I started in 2022, I think we had 7 products.
Okay.
And now we're up to like 30 plus.
Yeah.
So we've really built like that core portfolio, and now we'll be like a little bit more specialized in the products that we launch. So instead of 5 to 8 products a year, maybe 2 to 3. So it gives us a little bit of a chance to just focus a little bit more on those couple formulations and make sure that we're putting out products that like really matter and they're really needed. We're not just like launching products to launch products, but we're doing the research, making sure there's a need in the market, and then putting out like a really amazing formula.
Awesome.
Man, it's so interesting to me how it correlates, and it's a little different than the human side, because the human side, we talk about it all the time that brands sometimes make too many products and they want to, I want to have Ken's protein, Ken's creatine, Ken's Ken's colon cleanser, it's like too much for one brand. And but you're saying that with Farrah, you're going to be more dialed in on saying this is the category we can be the champion in.
Yeah, definitely. Because we have all of our bases covered now, you know, with 33 SKUs, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we have a little bit of something for everybody. And now I think we just are a little bit more targeted in our approach, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, and you guys go based off of data for like building more dog than cat, is how you said, we see the cat population rising faster. So that would say, okay, we need more cat formulas?
Yeah.
Or do you try to balance it out evenly?
Prior to this past year, the majority of our products were for both dogs and cats. And then last year we launched our first ever feline specific line. So I think part of our strategy moving forward is kind of doing species specific rather than trying to get one formula that applies to both dogs and cats.
Which pet is more costly to own, a cat or a dog?
Dog.
Yeah?
Without a doubt.
By far.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cats are...
My cat's expensive. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. They're very bougie. They have to have like certain foods and litters, and I bought like probably 40 different treats, and she'll eat one for a day and a half and then
they're so picky.
Not touch it again. They're divas, dude. So
yeah, I think dogs have the potential to be more expensive. They're also just bigger, so like they eat more. I mean, I'm lucky because my dogs are small, but like I always think about the people who have like a Cane Corso, right? And like what I feed my pets, like I would have to do that times 5, right?
Yeah.
So I think just based on size alone, dogs have the potential to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always had big dogs growing up, like Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Huskies. So I always had big dogs, always going through dog food. Is that something you guys would eventually want to go into, like pet food?
Not anytime soon. It's hard. I mean, it's a really competitive market, and it's different because, as you know, as a dog owner, once you pick one food, like that's your food, right?
You're not changing because that's a lot of cleanup.
So yeah, it's a lot harder, I think, to get that brand loyalty. I mean, once you have the brand loyalty, it's there, but it's hard to break into the market and to acquire that customer base.
I see what you mean. Yeah, there was like, I forget the brand. It was something with an N. It's like really dark packaging.
Okay.
And it's a super great packaging. But I remember trying to switch to that when the pups were young, and they didn't like it. And I was like, and that's what I wanted to ask. How do you balance the marketing to a person? Because the product's not for them, but it's for them emotionally almost. Yeah. Like, I need to feel good about taking care of my animal. So I've always wondered, like, how do you balance that marketing? Because obviously the image has to be the dog, but the message is to the human.
Right. I mean, the easy thing about marketing, I think, for pets is that, like, everybody loves a dog video, right?
Yeah.
So like kind of catering to that emotional response is pretty easy. But yeah, I mean, we market to the pet parents, I think, in messaging, whether that's, you know, social media presence or wherever it may be. But when it comes to the product, that's where you have to market towards both. So when we were developing the soft chews, actually, you know, we needed a product that was really like flavorful, right? Palatable for the pets. But it also can't be off-putting for the human.
Totally. That's so funny.
Because like dogs and cats too, they will like some gross stuff, right?
Definitely.
But if it's terrible, if it smells terrible, if it leaves terrible residue on your finger, like if the pet parent can't stand it, then you're not going to have a successful product.
Yeah.
So like, that smells pretty tasty,
good.
right?
Yeah, that actually smells good for man.
Now we just gotta get Blueberry over here.
Smells way better than my
Blue, what do you think?
My cat treats. He is out.
Come here.
Like, wait, you got something for me?
What do you think of this?
Oh, he's in there already. It didn't even take long.
I know.
I mean, I don't know
love it.
who his owner is, but if you want to get
Alex.
one, you can.
Can you have one?
Yeah.
It's a probiotic chew.
Good boy.
Good boy.
There you
It's
go.
okay, and another.
Yeah, my cat treats smell atrocious.
Oh man, Blue must go through a lot of food.
Look, he's just
He's a
one.
big
What is
boy.
this?
Yeah.
I love it.
What would be something surprising that a pet owner would find shocking and be like, this is what's going on in your pet's gut environment?
Yeah, I mean, well, gut imbalances definitely can play a part in like a lot of other manifestations of symptoms, I think. But I think one thing that's unique about the pet, especially a dog's digestive system.
He's like, that was good. I want more.
Right? He's like, and another, is that the dog's stomach environment is actually highly acidic.
Oh.
More so than humans. So if you think about like a dog's ability to eat kind of whatever, right? Like my dogs, like I always joke, they'd love to eat trash.
Yeah.
Like, if they could, they just eat trash. But the acidic environment of the stomach gives them greater protection that like you or I would not have. So we couldn't necessarily eat the trash and be okay.
Right.
But the dogs can probably handle it a little better. And that, came from evolution. They could, through history, they kind of just ate whatever.
Like uncooked meat and
table scraps, catching prey, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so they had to have like that as a defense system.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to dogs eating grass, like, like people have seen, is there any market for like a greens product that would replace that?
So, well, we actually have a product that has some greens in it. So typically if a dog is eating grass, it's either because they have like an upset stomach. So they're trying to like soothe an upset stomach, or it could be like a micronutrient need. So they see that need in the grass. So my dog loves grass. He'll just like munch. He'll just like on his walk, he finds a little grassy patch. And it's not typically due to an upset stomach because he doesn't like vomit afterwards, no diarrhea afterwards. So we actually have a product. It's called the Whole Food Multivitamin. And we created that as like a multi-nutrient source that has like no synthetic vitamins at all. So we start with organ meats, which is kind of like nature's multivitamin, we like to call it. And then we add like a bunch of organic fruits and vegetables. So like broccoli, blueberry, spinach. And then we have a greens blend. So it has wheatgrass, barley grass, organic kelp.
Okay.
And then we also add a probiotic into that. So it's kind of like,
I haven't tried that one. I'm going to try that one of my dogs.
I wish I had that one. I'd give it to you.
It's not the blue one?
No, it's in a pouch like that.
Okay.
I don't think I have it. We'll get some sent over.
Definitely.
I'm pretty curious.
Wow.
Since the dog's stomach is more acidic and can kind of really handle a lot of different things that it's eating, I don't feel like that's the same for my cats. I feel like they throw up way more than a dog
You
would.
think their stomach's a lot more sensitive?
Yeah, is that
Yeah, so the digestive system is definitely going to be different for cats.
Yeah.
And cats have, there can be things related to like over grooming, right? So like hairballs.
Yeah, that's definitely my one cat.
Yeah. So the hairball market is actually, for hairball supplements, is actually huge.
Yeah, those are the ones I do try and buy.
Yeah.
Because she's just sitting there all day and she's a long hair cat. So it's just like every time she throws up, it's like gets it out. There's a pile of hair and then she's fine again. I'm like, okay, that's so awkward because if I threw up, I wouldn't be functioning normally right after I was done. So
it's probably soothing for her to get it out.
yeah.
But also, I mean, over grooming can be a result of like anxious behavior too.
Really?
So it can be, behavior related.
Yeah,
feel
when
like-
you're traveling.
I feel like it's my other cat. Yeah, oh yeah. My house is a mess. When we leave for a trip and we're gone for a couple of days, I know there's gonna be like piles of like throw up or.
Well, my dogs are on like high alert right now because we were on vacation for 2 weeks, and then I've been doing like a lot of events, so I've been out of the house for like long stretches of time.
Yeah.
So like every time I put on shoes, my dogs are like, "Where are you going?
Yeah.
Where are you going?" Like, today they're like at the back door. They're like, "Where are we
You're
going?"
abandoning me.
Yeah.
No, sorry guys.
There's like those signs. Like I pulled out my suitcase to come out here. and
Oh,
we just
the
got back from
suitcase always
Mexico,
gets 'em.
and they both they hate each other. They were both on opposing sides of the suitcase, laying there. Like you're not leaving
Yeah,
this house
no,
again.
they look at the suitcase and they're like, "You traitor."
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we hate that box. Now, Fairpet, are you only focused on dogs and cats?
Yes.
See, because for us, what we've always wanted to be in is in the equine market.
Oh yeah,
And
equine's big.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen our senactiv ingredient. It's for sports nutrition. So we've given it to thoroughbred horses at the Los Alamitos and the Santa Anita racetrack, and they've performed. And so when we've tried to enter the equine market, it's always been like with our raw material, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there hasn't been a good equine brand that's been able to transition the research.
Yeah.
So when we've gone to equine events, it's like, oh, but how do I give this to my dog? Because the application isn't there. We just have the raw material.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you guys members of NASC?
Richard's working on that.
Okay.
So we should
Yeah.
be very soon.
Yeah. So that would be a really good market to tap into. And they have an annual conference. It's usually in like April or May.
Yeah. Okay.
So NASC is companion animals, so cats and dogs and equine.
that was equine too.
So that would be a really good place to kind of start, I would say.
Okay.
It's an interesting market. I know nothing
Yeah.
really about some of our manufacturers actually do equine products as well.
Okay.
So I know like a small amount.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, I mean, it's if you can get into it, it's big because
You've been talking about it
horse
forever.
people spend a lot
Exactly.
of money on their horses.
I was like, man, why are we selling to gym rats? Like this guy that's going to work to the gym after work when this horse is worth $1 million.
Yeah.
Treat him.
No, my cousin, she did like rodeo all through high school and college, like barrel racing and stuff like that. I mean, they had at one point, I think they had 6 horses.
Wow.
And they're expensive to maintain.
There is money in
Yes.
equine, that's for sure.
No, that's you've
Plus,
talked
can you
about
imagine
it
the
forever.
dosage?
Yeah, that's what we were
I tell
calculating.
them all the time. This is kilos just going out the
I know,
door.
millions of
Like,
kilos.
Yeah, totally.
And then the humans are like, I don't know if I want to use 25 milligrams of estrogen or 50 milligrams of estrogen. Well, this horse wants a kilo of estrogen.
Yep.
Yeah, I know when we were talking about the pet study, and then we looked at the dosage, we're like, oh man, like I know Ken's gonna want to do horses because it's like probably like 8 times the normal dose.
Yeah,
and
it's insane.
We're doing cats and dogs for like a third of what we're already like selling for. So I'm like, okay, but this is more of like a passion company mission project. But we got to get into the equine because
we got to get into it. And they have normal stuff. It's like electrolytes, simple apple flavors, When we did it, they would just put it into like a liquid syringe and then just feed him
They also do like the big like wafer.
and they have some weird salt things too. They
I've seen the salt things.
Let the horse lick a salt tab all day.
And I think, overall, I think that competition in equine is way different than cat and dog.
Totally.
There's just less people doing it overall.
Totally.
So if you can do it right.
Ken's the one who
We gotta get
thinks
in it,
out of the
man.
box and gets us in there. So
Yeah. We have to figure out a way.
Yeah, Farrah's not moving into equine
Yeah.
anytime soon, but
We'll let you know if we get a good. Hey, all you got to do is plug in here.
yeah,
hey, we know the people, so
no, totally. We have no idea about the influencer marketing in the pet space. Can you give us an idea of like what that's like?
yeah, I mean it's almost just like a regular human influencer, right? Like, well, there's like a platform, like I think there's a couple platforms, but one that we use, I think it's called Pupfluence.
Dude, that is
what?
wild.
Yeah, so they they have their rates and like the different they do a reel or a story. We also actually work with quite a few vet influencers because that is also a thing.
Yeah.
You can see Dr. Michelle, she's working on becoming a vet influencer.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of the ways I think that we became successful in the beginning is like working with influencers, smaller and medium sized pet influencers to kind of like get the word out. So
blowing
social's
my
always
mind.
been social's always been really big for us.
Ken, what are you doing?
I was thinking when I should have had all those pups.
Yeah.
Like, dude, someone pick these guys up. But that's what I was saying when you said earlier, like our social media. I'm like, I thought, wow, you see an athlete, you might hate on them. Say, I don't want to buy from them. But how are you gonna hate on the dog enjoying his food or enjoying his
right? Or just like I said, everybody loves a dog video, right? Like it's instant success.
I never knew that.
You know what's also crazy is that your numbers must be so skewed compared to like if you were a normal supplement brand, you'd be like, whoa, we got so many views.
Yeah.
But your views are baked in because it's a
Right,
dog.
because everybody wants to watch
I would
it.
watch it regardless of what it's about.
Well, yeah, and cat. So dog influencers and cat influencers,
Yes.
Oh,
they're both a thing.
I got one diva, so maybe we'll give it a go. I never
definitely.
even knew it was a
I
real
keep
thing.
telling my
Totally.
boys, I'm like, you got to start paying some bills around here.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll see them. They're across Farrah Social a little bit, like mostly in the office.
We're gonna dig
like our
into
social
that.
media manager, she's like, hey, I just saw this viral video. Like, bring the boys in on Monday. I'm like, yeah, they're not very good models, but
Pupfluence.
they'll
Just
do
dogs.
anything. They'll do anything for a soft chew.
Wow, that is so cool. I literally had no
I know.
idea until you said that.
What are all the products we have on the table?
So we have our soft chew line here. This was launched earlier this year. So the hip and joint was actually our very first product, launched in 2017. And then we expanded that line of soft chews in July, focusing on kind of like your standard benefits. So we have the original hip and joint with like a little bit of a reformulation tweak. Then we have the probiotic, which is actually like a full spectrum biotic. It's got pre, pro, and post.
Okay.
Then we have a multivitamin, which has vitamins and minerals, but we also add some joint supporting ingredients in there. Also a probiotic for gut health. The calming, as we know, calming is big for both cats and dogs. And then we have the allergy and immune. So allergy and immune is another focus area for a lot of dogs, especially.
Yeah.
Environmental allergies are huge, itching, licking, scratching, all of that. And then, of course, we have the Postbiotics Plus, which highlights AstraGin.
Yes. So out of the products that are here anyway, which one would you equate to like a pre-workout or protein, which is kind of like the staple product for a pet? Like if somebody's going to buy one product, which one would they typically buy first?
So out of what we have here, if I had to equate it to something like that, I would probably say the goat milk multivitamin.
Okay.
So that's a goat milk base. We use that base
wow.
because it is highly palatable, but it also has like minerals and vitamins that are naturally occurring within the goat milk.
Okay.
We add some vitamins and minerals on top of that, as well as a probiotic. So it's kind of like a well-rounded supplement. It could be good for any cat, dog, any age, life stage need. But when a customer comes to me and they say, like my pet is healthy, but like I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for them.
Yeah.
First and foremost, our probiotic powder is probably the number one recommendation.
Okay.
It's our best seller. It's a flavorless powder, 12 different probiotic strains plus prebiotics. Fish oil is super important too. Really great for like overall anti-inflammatory benefits.
Okay.
But also good for like cognition and brain health, joint health, kind of a really great all-in-one supplement.
Right.
And then our mushroom product is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
blend.
feel like you eat more of those than you should, based on the way you're talking about it. We'll have to
No,
try one. We should have brought one of those to try.
I should. I'll send you guys a care package.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, that's kind of like the base, I would say, for like any healthy pet.
Okay.
But then you have to get into like specific needs. So like
Definitely.
what's going on with your pet? Like what concerns do you have? What are their age? And then you can kind of get a little bit more specific and targeted.
Yeah. No, perfect. That makes sense.
What was your guys' first product in the market? Like, what was your guys' whole thing?
So this was the very first one, the hip and joint soft chew. We started with that because it was kind of like the product that everybody had.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
After we launched that in 2017, we actually shifted our focus. So we didn't launch another soft chew until 2025.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So we focused a lot on powders. We like powders because it's really great to get, a good amount of ingredients with minimal amount of inactive ingredients.
Yes.
Right.
So we really wanted to focus on like pure, clean, effective formulas, and we thought the powders was the best way to do that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Fantastic.
And is that you said 2016?
2017 we were founded.
Okay. What was the original team? Like, how many of you were when you guys founded?
So Michelle and Emily, it was just the two of them for the first 5 years.
Wow.
Yes, they had day jobs, and Pharaoh was like their side hustle.
Yeah.
Until 2020. So we all know things happened in 2020. Things changed a little bit.
Yep.
A couple of things happened that allowed Farah to grow a lot during that time is the explosion in pet population.
Right.
Also the rise in e-com spending.
Mm-hmm.
So because that's where we were, and we were, serving a need for a population that was expanding so rapidly. We saw tons and tons of success throughout that time. And then that's when they were able to pivot away from their day jobs and focus on Farah 100%.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Because if it wasn't for COVID, the brand could have had a brick and mortar approach, and then COVID hit, and I can't even go to the store to pick it up.
Yeah.
But because you started D2C and online,
It was kind of like the perfect storm of events that really
crazy.
allowed us to thrive. So then Michelle and Emily started building out the team in 2022. So there was originally 3 hires that they made, myself and 2 others. And then now we're up to 15.
Wow, that's awesome.
As of right now. Yeah. I think in 2020 we had 4 products maybe. But our probiotic was a really big part of our success.
Yeah.
So I think that was launched in 2019. And it quickly became our bestseller and has remained at the top of the list.
Oh, even till today?
Yeah, year over year, month over month.
Like our AstraGin. Okay. It's pretty.
Well, and it's one of the reasons why we continue to focus on gut health for targeted support elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because the research is just expanding so much, and we see that gut health affects so many other parts of the body.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's an infinite number of ways that you can approach that.
Definitely.
So you went after our AstraGin not for the absorption quality, but for the gut health side of things.
Mostly, yeah. Yeah, one thing about, so I want to get like a little bit into the weeds here.
Yeah.
So for pet products, there's actually two different categories. So there's what is called a health supplement and what is called a food supplement.
Okay.
So a health supplement is what you would see more closely resemble like a human dietary supplement. So what we have is called a product facts instead of a supplement facts. The food supplement is more close to like a food type label.
Okay.
And there's a split between those types of products and the way that you can formulate them and the way that you can market them.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tricky. Follow me here. So for a product like our Postbiotics Plus, which is a health supplement, we can make a lot of structure function claims,
Yes.
right? So gut health support, immune system support,
Yes.
but we can't make specific nutritional claims.
Okay.
Because that would put us in the other category.
Yes.
And we can't do that. So we actually kind of steer clear of the nutrient absorption claims because it puts us into that category, and this product is not in that category.
So we've had a couple clients where when we're looking at their label and, you know, as opposed to like a powder where it's going to have a supplement facts, it's going to be more of a food or a gel.
Yeah.
And it's going to have a nutrition panel. So like they have to lean more towards basically the gut health parameters, and they can't mention anything really about the absorption.
Yep.
And
Very similar to how the products are split.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like,
I didn't know that for pets.
yeah. So for like our multivitamin products, like a multivitamin is always going to be a food supplement.
Okay.
So we're always going to lean on those more nutritionally related claims.
Gotcha.
And then something like a joint support or a calming is always going to be a health supplement. So we always want to focus on structure function, body system, things like that.
Yeah, that's good to know because I didn't know that. But we really appreciate having you today. I feel like we definitely learned what we wanted to learn, and we got to learn a lot more about you guys. And like I said, appreciate you guys really kind of like being the first to jump out on that ledge and really make AstraGin worth putting in pet products, and kind of opening our eyes too. So
yeah, I mean, we appreciate you guys as a partner.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you guys kind of check all of our boxes for what we look for in a supplier, but also we just appreciate like the communication. Like if I have a question, like I get an answer right away.
Yeah.
Like it's thorough. Like your guys' certificates of analysis are great. So just like it shows, I think, in what you do that like you guys are really putting in the work to do it right.
Awesome. And if we do move forward with that cat study, I'm probably going to hit you up, and hopefully you and Michelle can guide us on what you'll be looking for and what's important, because still very new for us to kind of figure out our way around. So
yeah, definitely. And our next cat product, I'll send to you for palatability testing.
Perfect. If they don't throw it up, I'm going to be severely impressed.
Last question
is
is-
eat it.
Yeah.
That's the struggle.
Yeah, they won't even, like, my cat won't even lick it. I'm like, can you at least just try and taste it?
No, because they do a lot, like their olfactory
Yeah.
is like their first sense. And so if they have an off-putting smell, like they're not even gonna try it. Whereas dogs, you like put anything in a bowl and they're like, sure, whatever.
I tried it. Now I don't like it.
They're so weird. Both cats have very distinct things. Like my one cat will lick like strawberry juice and like the I would say carrots.
Okay.
And then the other cat is more like ice creams or yogurts or like creamy stuff. I'm like, you guys make no sense. Like I can't even have an idea of what to get you guys because you're so different.
Yeah, see, my dogs are like the bottom of the barrel palatability testers. Like if my dogs won't taste it, like you know there's something wrong because they will eat rocks if I let them.
That's so funny.
I put some peanut butter on this rock. He's going to eat it.
Easy. No, just rocks. Straight rocks.
Last thing, is Farrell only in the United States, or are you guys international?
We're international. So
wow, cool.
so
I didn't know
we
that.
are in Canada. That was our first international market. We've got a pretty big presence in Southeast Asia.
Oh, wow.
So we have a distributor in Singapore that does kind of like our Southeast Asian market.
Nice.
And then looking elsewhere, but just gets really challenging, especially with places like EU.
Yeah.
Because you look at like
Europe
the
is so
region.
Regulations so
Yeah.
different.
And then you're like, okay, but every single country has a different
Yes,
regulation.
it's a nightmare.
And then like the label
Yes.
with the languages, I'm like,
Yep.
no, kill me now. I
No,
don't want to
it's-
do that.
it's
Like
such
how
a
many
headache.
pages of peel back do you
Oh,
have
I'm
to
gonna
do?
show you some
Oh,
crazy
yes.
European
Well, like,
products.
But like on a supplement bottle that's that small,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I don't even want to try. But yeah, EU is something that we're definitely looking at. It's just a little bit more.
Is
Yeah.
it like
Time-intensive.
human supplements? The U.S. is the biggest market.
Yes, the U.S. is the biggest market, but Asian markets are pretty big as well.
wow.
Central and South America is growing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
Nice.
well, the more people
Yes.
have pets and not kids,
Yes.
No,
Then
And it's
I
going.
think that's-
It's going
I
that
think
way.
that
So
trend
Yeah.
is everywhere. Yeah.
yeah.
definitely.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you
This
so
has been
much,
so
Hannah.
fun.
Yeah. Awesome.